So I've got a great topic for you tonight. So we've talked a lot about marketing. I'm now going to kind of turn the table slightly and start to talk a little bit about the other end of it. So what we're going to talk about over the coming sort of few days or lives, if you like, is the prospecting side to tighten up your skill set and make sure that you have got the required knowledge to execute that side of the network marketing conundrum, if you like. And then we'll talk a little bit about mindset and motivation on some of the lives that are upcoming as well, because I know that's things that people struggle with. But as you can see with the title for this evening's live, something that a lot of people struggle with is they get someone started inside the network marketing and they struggle to keep them motivated, they struggle to keep them in the game, and they have to face where people quit, and a lot of people do quit. And there are certain factors that can be linked to the fact of, or the reason behind why someone quits. But what I want to arm you with this evening is the very best way I know that will allow you to maximise you getting someone started. Evening Helen, evening Lorraine, how are you? Good to have you on. So what I'm going to share with you tonight, as I said, is from all of my experience, the best way I know to get someone started inside the network marketing so that you can maximise your chance of them, one, being successful, and secondly, keeping them in the game, keeping them motivated, sticking with that long-term vision. Now, I want to tell you a quick story before I get into that, which is about my own personal experience. Now, when I came into the industry, I didn't actually get too much in the way of training because the company I actually joined was pretty new in the market that I joined with. Now, what that meant for me is there was very little infrastructure in place, so it was kind of all new. So what it meant is that I kind of just hit the ground running, and as we do in this industry, I just earned while I learned. So kind of figured it out on the way, found some good personal development books and audios, had a good few friends that I could turn to get advice on how to do things better. Evening Helen. So initially, once I started to bring people in, I kind of just brought them in, and because I had been through a system where I come in and I just took off. So I had my company's training, which was part of the back office, which no doubt most of you guys have, but a lot away from that, I kind of just had to find my own path in a certain respect with regards to, inviting people to look at what I'd done. Now, evening LK, how are you? So what I'm trying to say to you is when I started to bring people into my business, recruit people, get new team members, I kind of just brought them in, obviously invested a lot of time and energy, as we do, into people, building relationships, them having that know, like and trust factor, then them joining me in the industry. I kind of just went, okay, that's one there, and I kind of let them fly off and hope for the best. And at the time I was obviously inexperienced, so inexperience getting the better of me there. I kind of just hoped for the best every time that I was in that situation where I had a new team member. I was getting quite a few as well over my first few months. I had a fair bit of success in the industry, but I was doing it all wrong in the respect of not investing any time into them. So what I want you to think about is, in the network marketing industry, we spend all of this time and effort and energy to invested into inviting people, to get people to join you, and then once they join, a lot of the time we can be guilty of just going, okay, let's just see how he or she does. Now, as I said, that's a mistake that I made. Now, what happened to me then, I then moved into a different era. So as I become more knowledgeable and more experienced in the industry, you know for sure that there is absolute monstrous amounts of information on network marketing, on personal development, on mindset, on prospecting and recruiting. There's so much information out there that I started to accrue all of this information, which was great for my skill level. But what that meant then is when I was bringing new people into the business, I was then giving them information overload, and I had set up kind of systems where I was providing them with a lot of information. But what happened is they end up going stagnant because they're like, hang on a minute, I don't actually know where to turn here. There's like information everywhere. I feel completely overwhelmed, and they end up not taking any action. They don't do anything. So that was the two errors that I really wanted to share with you initially, that I made prior to finding a better way of managing this, which I'm going to share with you in just a minute. Now, when I first come across this way of starting people in network marketing, I had a light bulb moment straight away, because it was a guy called Bob Heilig. You guys will have known, hopefully know who he is. He's an incredible trainer, but it was probably about a year and a half ago, I was listening to one of his podcasts, I think, and on getting someone new started, and some of his features are in here, but effectively what he was doing, if you can imagine, I was listening to this podcast, and everything he was saying not to do, I was doing. Which was awesome, and I was just, you know, kind of head in my hands, shaking. Oh, what have I been doing? I've not been doing the people I've been introducing to the company, to the industry, any justice whatsoever. But again, guys, this is all a learning curve. You learn as you earn, and I just didn't know. What you don't know at the end of the day. So I was doing my best in terms of what I thought was the best for these people that were joining me. But as I've gone through the journey, I've realised that there is a much better way to do it. Now I'm going to start to go through this now. So as I said a minute ago, one of the biggest problems with network marketing and people being started is information. We are in the information age, and there is information overload everywhere. So you have to be very careful. Evening, Kath, how are you? You have to be very careful with what information you put in front of your new people, as I'll go through a system in a minute with you to give you a lot of value, which I know you're going to get. But be very careful what information you put in front of them, because if you put too much information in front of them, too much training, personal development, tasks, they will suddenly become overwhelmed, and you will not move them out of the starting blocks. They will not take any action because they won't know which way to go. So that's point one. So information age really does cause massive issues there. So also, I want to touch on something before we go into the main part of the content. Sometimes you guys will have had people who are keen to get started with you, but they maybe have to wait till payday, or maybe they are going on holiday, they want to start in 2 or 3 weeks when they return, and that's completely normal. So in that situation, what I would suggest you do, because this is another thing that I've learned which is really valuable, is give them something that sells them on the vision of network marketing. So don't give them a training audio or a training book or something like that, which again can lead to overwhelm before they even get signed up and started. Give them something that sells the vision. Now, one of the best ones for that is the 4-Year Career by Richard Bliss Brooke. Now, that's not a training content. Whether they read it or listen to the audio, it is an awesome book or audio, whichever you prefer, which will sell them on the dream of network marketing and what it can do for you across the lifespan of your time in the industry. It's incredible. But if they do that whilst they go on holiday or whilst they're waiting to be paid, once they get to you and they're ready to, to get signed up and get started with you, they are going to be absolutely energized, good to go. So guys, let's get into it anyway. So what we're trying to do effectively, I don't know if any of you guys may have seen Eric Worre's video on this. What he talks about is there is a line down the middle. I'll try and get it in the middle of my video here. A line down the middle, which is the quit line, and everyone starts on it's easier to quit. So when you first start in the industry, it's far easier to quit than it is to stay, because obviously at the time when you very first start, you've got no customers, you've got no team members, you have not had any success, you've got very little experience or knowledge on the industry. So it's very easy to walk away, especially in network marketing, because the investment to start up most of the time is very, very low, especially here in the UK. Now, what you're trying to do with getting a new rep started is you're trying to move them across that quit line so that it's easier to stay. And what I'm going to share with you here is going to help you to do that, because there's certain things that you can do when you get someone started that is going to enable you to move them from easier to quit to easier to stay. And we're going to build on that as we go through it this evening. So, the key takeaway from all of this, if you remember nothing else, is that you need to move your new rep into action as soon as possible. Honestly, I cannot stress you enough. Training, personal development is all fantastic, and if you want to, go the distance in the industry, you absolutely have to commit to doing a certain amount of it. But when you first start, excitement and just being guided slightly will lead you to enough success that you need. The most important factor in network marketing is taking action. And guess what? You learn far more from taking action than you ever will from a personal development book or audio or any training course, because that is how we learn best in most cases all the time, is taking action. So if you go and take action and you invite someone to your business, your products, your service, and it doesn't go too well, well, guess what? You're going to learn from that, because it's not going to feel too great. If it goes well, likewise, you're going to remember, you're going to learn from that, you're going to think that was great, that worked very well, and then you can execute the same thing again. So make this the main takeaway as I go through all of these points for you, is you need to move your new rep into action as soon as physically possible. So what we're going to talk about is, so let's say we've got a new rep started up, and as we go through, the first thing that I want you to think about is a game plan meeting. Now, in different companies will maybe have a form of a game plan meeting, maybe called something else, which is totally cool, but I'm going to explain it anyway. So the purpose of a game plan meeting is it's you to sit down with this new rep, your new team member, and almost give them strategize and give them guidance on what they need to do. So it would typically take around an hour, maybe just over, and I'm going to go through the construct of a game plan meeting and the different points that you need to cover from my experience and what's worked for me to maximize someone's chance of success, and to also increase the lifespan of the time they stay with you, your company, and in the industry, which is what we all want. Now, when you do the game plan meeting, what you want to do is schedule this ideally within 48 hours. So every day that ticks over after they've started without sitting down with you, getting any guidance, any direction, and not doing the game plan meeting, is another day that they're going to become more and more stagnant and less likely to take action. So really important. The second point on the game plan meeting is it wants to be something that you can interact. So it could be a video call, so it could be, you know, FaceTime, Skype, Zoom call, whatever. Ideally it would be face to face if they're in the same place as you, because it helps you build the relationship with that new team member, because obviously relationships are crucial even within your own organisation if you want longevity out of it. So that's that. The first, we're going to go through now a few points which are going to form the structure of your game plan meeting, and what is going to allow you to maximise your success with getting new people started quickly. So whether you're still waiting to get your first new rep started, you might not have anyone sponsored yet, that's totally cool, we've all been there. Whether you've had a few start with you and they've quit, and you're now sitting without anyone in your team, maybe you've got an existing team with you know, a few people in there, that's totally cool. Now, what I want you to do, guys, you don't need to, you know, write anything if you haven't, but if you're on the live now and you've actually sponsored someone into your network marketing company, into your business, just give me a 1 in the comments, just so that I can take a look at it and see how many people are going to be able to relate to some of the content I go through here, because it's really important. So the first thing I'm going to open up with is, you're not there to build someone's business for them. So your job as a sponsor is to obviously get them started in the right manner, make sure they know what they need to know, and then it is over to them to build their business. So we're going to go through the steps now, but I just want you to bear that in mind, that you're not there to hold someone's hand and guide them through. There's a few great phrases and great sayings of that. Jim Rohn has a great one. You know, you can help many, but you can't carry more than one on your back. So I would suggest you don't carry anyone on your back. You just show them the way, and you work with the people who are consistently showing up in line with what you expect from your team members. So yeah, nice one, Caroline and Kath. Yeah, good stuff. So you're gonna probably be able to relate to this. Also, guys, as you're watching, if you have sponsored people into your business and you have lost some people, so maybe they have gone quiet on you and disappeared. Maybe they have openly said to you, look, it's not for me, I'm quitting. So if you can relate to that, if you've had people quit within your business already, just give me a 2 in the comments, just so that I can have a look at it. And that'll be cool, just to get an idea of how many people have gone through this process and actually been frustrated by seeing it. Now, it's clear as day to all of us that we want our people to succeed. It's very frustrating when you start someone up in your company, in network marketing, and they quit. and they struggle and they quit. It's honestly, especially if the relationship is very close to them. A lot of people in network marketing, they invite and they find a lot of friends and family who join them. And when you've got a closer relationship with someone and they are not doing what you expect them to do, or what you show them the way in which they should do things, they struggle, they quit. It's really hard to take. So what I'm going to say to you is, I'll go through these steps now. Just remember, you've got to show them the way, but you're not there to hold their hand. Ultimately, if they don't take action on the advice you give them, there is nothing you can do about it. So you have to just give them group value and go and work with your people who are actually listening, showing up in line with whatever you are suggesting in your particular team, your particular company. So right, let's get into it, guys. So the very first thing you're going to do on your game plan meeting is you are going to validate their decision to join you. Now, a lot of people, you've got to understand this, a lot of people when they start in network marketing, there's some skepticism around the industry because of a lack of knowledge and lack of understanding, which is our job to obviously show people that we are a class above what they expect. We are, professional network marketers. Now, because of that skepticism, depending on what's going on with an individual's own circumstances, sometimes they have almost a bit of buyer's remorse. So when they sit down with you, they may be thinking, oh, what, did I make the right decision? Is this for me? That's totally normal as well. So one of the best things you can do to either maintain the level of excitement or increase it is to validate their decision straight away. And there's a couple of ways I'm going to share with you in which you can do that. So the very first thing is, so the first thing you're going to do is congratulate them. So for example, if I just use Kath as an example because her name is on the screen there. So let's say Kath has just joined in my company, in my team. I'm just going to get, let's say I'm on a video call, I'm just going to say, hey Kath, I just want to congratulate you on making the decision to get started. So that's the first thing, you're congratulating her, you're reaffirming her decision to get started, which is great. Now the next thing that you're going to, sorry, not the next thing, the next example of what you can say within validating a decision is you can lead with something along the lines of, again using Kath, so I say, okay Kath, also I just want to reassure you that things are going to be different for you from now on. So what you're doing there is you're congratulating her for her decision to get started, and you are telling her and you're feeding positivity into her mind to say things are going to be different for her from now on. Now, when someone joins you inside the network marketing, they're doing so for a reason. So it could be that they want, additional income. They could just want to, meet more people and be part of something more than themselves. They could just love your product or your service, whatever it might be. They've got a reason for doing so. So you're reaffirming that decision. You're solidifying it, and it's the best start you can have on your game plan meeting. So that's number one. So number two is you're going to set expectation. This is really important, guys, because so many people fall foul of doing this bit wrong. So if you can relate to what I'm going to say here, which is a common error, you must have seen people doing this, just drop me a 3 in the comments. So just give me a 3 if you've heard someone overhype network marketing. So we're talking expectation management here. So I've seen so many people on social media, I've even heard people in person overhype network marketing. So they've got a new person, they're like, yeah, it's so easy, you just have to do this and this and this, and the money will start rolling in. You'll be making 1,000 a week or whatever it might be. I've heard it so many times where people overhype network marketing, but that is the worst thing in the world that you can do for your new person getting started, because in actual fact, you would be far better to tell them it's really difficult if they want to be a top earner or if they want to make it, big in the industry, and then it be a little bit easier than they expected than you would be to tell them it's going to be an absolute breeze. And then suddenly, as we know in the industry, it's hard work if you want to be pushing up there to the higher levels, the leadership positions in your company, making the bigger paychecks and being consistent. It's all hard work. There's no success comes without hard work. So that's that. Now, when you are going through the setting expectation, just got some notes here, guys, because I don't want to go off on a tangent too much and miss anything. So the first thing you're going to tell them is you're going to say that success or failure is up to them. So if I'm going to speak to Kath, I'm going to say, so Kath, I just want to let you know, if you succeed or if you fail with this company, it's going to be completely down to you. Now, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to support you every step of the way, but it's going to be your responsibility to be successful. So you need to make that clear straight away. So that's you drawing a line in the sand for that person, and they now know moving forward that it is their responsibility, it is their business. You're going to be there as a support network for them, absolutely, but you're not going to be there to spoon feed them and walk them along taking their hand. So the next thing you're going to do to in this portion is you're going to explain to them is that, so I'll say something like, so Kath, wouldn't you, what I plan to do is to make you as independent from me as quickly as possible. So the reason behind that, to get into the mentality of it, again, you want them to understand that you want them to be successful, you want them to be a leader in their own right, you want them to be able to work their business independently. It's no good them relying on you for everything. So you're feeding in the right expectation as you go through this. So that's the first 2 points. So number 1 is validate the decision. Number 2 is set their expectation. Number 3 is a get started checklist of some description. Now, you might have a different name for this depending on your company, but you need some form of a get started checklist to take them through their initial few steps of what they need to achieve, what they need to do. So I'm going to go through a couple of points of what you should have within your getting started checklist. So the first thing is you need to get them to go through some form of process so that they can understand and resonate with the reason why they are joining you in your company within the network marketing industry. If they don't really tap into why they're doing it, when times get tough, it's going to be very difficult for them to stick it out. Now, if they have that there and they know why they're doing it and they remind themselves of it, it's going to fuel them for longer, and it's going to allow them to battle through when they have their worst days, if that makes sense. So that's the first thing. Make sure you've got some way of getting them to tap into the reason why they're actually joining you. So the next thing is you need to take them through some form of guidance on how to invite to your business opportunity, to your product, or to your service, whatever is applicable for your company. Now, that is again really essential, because what will happen, most people will be excited, they'll go out there and they'll speak and they'll invite, etc. But if you can just give them that little bit of guidance on what to do and what to say, it's really going to help them out. Now, next one on the comments, guys, I want you to drop a 4 in the comments if you've ever seen anyone get this wrong. You may have been pitched yourself where someone just sends you a verse of the Bible, or it looks like a verse of the Bible in terms of links to their business opportunity, their products or the service. So if you've ever been the victim of that, stick a 4 in the comments. You may even have been guilty of that with your present company, with a previous company when you first got started in the industry. And to be honest, when I first started, I didn't really know what to do when I was new in the industry. I was connecting with people. I never understood that it was best to, build relationships, invite people professionally. There was set terminology that would help influence their decision. I didn't know any of that, and this is really important because people get it wrong all the time. So establish a reason why, take them through how to invite to your business, your product, your service is obviously cool. So yeah, nice one, Kath, Joe, good stuff. The next one on your getting started checklist is you need to take them through how to build a contact list. Now, there's different ways that you can skin this cat, but essentially in how many numbers you put in it, it might be that you advise them to go out and get 50 names put down onto a contact list. It might be 100, whatever. You might tell them to go all out and do a full-blown contact list with everyone they can think of. But a contact list is essential for them to obviously remember everyone that they have in the network that they feel may be interested in their business opportunity, their product or the service. But most importantly, it allows you to track things as you go through the exposure process. So when you're inviting, following up, etc. So it's really, really important. I had it done to me, but didn't do it myself. Yeah, well done, LK. That's good that you have not been one of the spammers yourself, although it's totally understandable that people are like that. So that was point number 3, guys. So that was a getting started checklist, which is establish your reason why you're doing it, how to invite, and how to build a contact list. So that's 3. Number 4 is some form of a fast start game plan. Now this is going to be your new team members effectively their first month or first few weeks game plan, which is going to take them through the exact things they have to execute in order to lead them to success. Now, the purpose of your fast start game plan, and again, within your company, this could be called anything. It doesn't really matter what you call it, as long as the principles behind it are the same. The whole point of a fast start game plan is to get them a paycheck. So if you want to keep people within the industry, within your business, within your company, you need to get them a result. Now, a result can be their first customer, it can be their first team member, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But if they pick up a paycheck, remember back to the start where we had that quit line, that is you moving them from easier to quit to easier to stay, especially if it's a team member, because then they've suddenly got someone who kind of looks up to them and almost links in with them consistently. So really, really important. So you're looking to get them a result. Also within the Fast Start game plan, you might want to have something like to book into your next company event or your next big maybe company training event, or if you've got a massive kind of event for your company within your country, let's get people to that, your new people to that, because that's where they're going to buy into the vision of the industry, of your company, and that's where the magic really happens. So it's great that you're going to guide them on that fast start game plan, but if you put them through in terms of making sure they get to that company event, that's where they're going to, you know, meet your company owners, maybe meet other people in the industry, they're going to bond, they're going to make relationships with other people in the industry. And it's one of the most incredible parts of the industry, is that the amount of positive, like-minded people you meet is incredible. The amount of you meet so many people, you make so many friendships of great people who are uplifting, positive, and they have a great impact on your life. It's unbelievable. Don't underestimate it. So that's number 4, guys. So number 1, validate the decision. Number 2, set expectation. Number 3, get started checklist. Number 4, a fast start game plan. And the last one, number 5, is give assignments. Now, you might be sitting thinking to yourself, okay, right, I don't really feel comfortable giving my new team member an assignment, or you might feel like you're telling them what to do. But what you need to understand, guys, is we are brought up and we are conditioned and we are used to people telling us what to do. So giving us direction, giving us tasks, we are used to it. So believe it or not, and from all of my experience in the industry now, people need to be told what to do, especially at the start. So you need to give them assignments so that they know what they need to be trying to execute, and that allows you to help hold them accountable as well. So it's really, really important. Now, some of the stuff on the assignments, things that you can look at. So maybe you are going to get them to invite people to you know, a presentation, an event, a training call, get them on a training call. It could be anything. So you focus them into an area so to make sure they get to that event or they get on that training call and they start to get into the habits that you need to forge in order to be a big success in this industry. So straight away you're getting them to do that. Maybe you're inviting, as I said, to some form of opportunity. Let's talk now about holding them accountable. So when you give somebody an assignment, you're actually able to hold them accountable, and this is going to help you not waste a ton of your time. So the reason I say that is, if you give someone an assignment, let's say that I'm going to use Kath again because I've got her there. So let's say I say to Kath, I've just got her started, and I say, right, Kath, I've done the game plan meeting with her, and I say, I just want you to go away now and make a list of 50 names on your contact list. When will you have that done by? And she says to me, okay, right, it's Monday today, I'll have that done by Wednesday. I'll put her in the diary and I'll say, okay, nice one. So Wednesday, call Kath. I give her a call on Wednesday. I say, hey Kath, did you get those 50 names done on your contact list? And she's like, yeah, my cat ate my fish, whatever happened. And you end up in the position where they've obviously not carried out the assignment you've given them. Now, you're obviously not going to blow your gasket here. You're simply going to go, okay, nice one, that's fine. So when do you think you're going to be able to have it done? Now, Kath will then come back to me and maybe say, right, okay, I'll definitely have it done by Friday. You then put it back in the diary for Friday. You go to Friday, and then when you contact her on Friday, if she's, I've not really got around to it yet, you know now this is your point in time where you do not want to waste your time. You need to stand your ground. So what you need to say to Kath at this point, for example, is, okay, Kath, nice one. So I've got some other people I need to prioritise who have done their contact list and they're ready to go. So what I'm going to say is, obviously you've got the training, etc. in your back office and whatever else you've got going on. You can carry on with that. Once you've done your contact list, make sure you let me know, and then we can move on to the next stage. You then go off and you get to work with the people in your team who are actually taking action and doing the things that you are, the things you're telling them to do. You're giving them advice and mentorship to take them forward, and they're actually executing on that. Do not waste your time with someone who is not carrying out the most basic of tasks, because you are going to end up spoon feeding them and wasting a lot of time, effort and energy on those people. Obviously that doesn't happen too often. Most of the time they'll have built the contact list, which is great, and you can move through the stages with them, which is excellent. Now, something that I forgot to mention, guys, that I'm just going to close up the live tonight with, is back in the game plan meeting, one of the most useful things of it is you can tap into their reasons why and get their accountability factor from them. So for example, one of the things that you can say within the game plan meeting is, let's say I've got Kath again, great example. So I'm going to say to Kath, okay Kath, at times this is going to be difficult, so they're going to be highs, they're going to be lows. I'm going to know when it's going to be a low spell for you, because you might not be answering my calls so often, you might not be showing up to training calls or events. So my question to you is, how do you want me to deal with you when you're in one of those low periods? Now this is really important, guys, honestly. What I'm looking for from Kath in this instance is that she turns around to me and says, well, just give me a kick up the ass. Just, you know, do whatever you got to do to, you know, get me fired back up, and just tell me it straight. Now that's what you're looking for in an ideal situation, but and most people will say words to that effect as well. But what this allows you to do is, when it does come to that point and she's having a low spell, maybe some of her team have quit, or maybe she's just having some home life trouble and she's having a bit of a bad spell and she's not showed up to events, she's not answering the phone, and I eventually get hold of her, I can say, okay, right Kath, remember back to when we first spoke, you told me that you wanted to spend more time at home with your kids instead of being out teaching all day, or you want to, you know, retire your husband, whatever it was that was their reason why they wanted to join. And you said that if you were having a low period and you were dropping off the radar, that you told me that you wanted me to give you a kick up the ass. Now that's what I'm doing here. You're having one of those periods, and hopefully that is going to pull them back in the game for you. It's going to give them a real kick up the ass and get them back to, because they're going to remember, you're going to hold them accountable to the reason why they started, and you're also holding them accountable to the fact that they've told you willingly, if they're having a bad spell, you do something about it. Don't just leave me on my own. So that's it. So guys, that is pretty much it, to be honest. So just wanted to give you some really good value on getting people started correctly, because, you know, going back to what I said at the start, I've made all of the mistakes already. I've let some kind of just, you know, let them try and fly from the nest and hope for the best. I've then taken the other approach of giving them information overload, which just stagnates people. It's terrible. And this is the best way I know to get people started. So make sure you go through those 5 steps. So just summarise again. So validate their decision, step 1. And step 2 is set expectation. Step 3, get started checklist. Step 4, fast start game plan. And then step 5 is give assignments. Don't be shy. Don't be scared to give people tasks. If you've got people in your team who are not producing, they are probably lacking direction. Give them something to do. Go and connect with. You can even use silly examples like, okay, so this month we're gonna go for school teachers. We're gonna see how many school teachers that we can recruit. Let's focus in on that area. If you can give someone an area of focus, that will channel their energy into that area. It's really going to help you out. So hopefully you got value from that, guys. If you did get value, just drop me a value in the comments so that I know you got something from it. As always, if you have anyone that's struggling in this area particularly, by all means tag them into the video so that they can obviously come across and check it out. If you have a team page and you think this would be valuable for people as they have existing teams that they want to have the most success, or as if it's newbies and they want to know what they should be doing with the new people, then obviously share it into your team groups or share it to your personal profile if you want as well. That's absolutely awesome. So thank you, great timing. Yeah, nice one, Joe. Yeah, great stuff. Happy you got some value there. Great stuff, Caroline. Same detail. So as always, guys, appreciate you for jumping on. Totally happy that you are getting plenty of value from the lives. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will check back in with you guys at 7 PM tomorrow.